Dear friends, today I am going to talk on a very important topic on yellow journalism, sensationalism, media ethics, and the path forward. Dear friends, in an age where information travels faster than light, the power of the media to shape opinions, influence decisions, and even alter the course of history is undeniable. Deniable. But with great power comes great responsibility. Today, I want to talk about a phenomenon that has persisted for over a century, adapting to new technologies and platforms, yet remaining true to its core, yellow journalism. This style of reporting, born in the 19th century, in the end of the 19th century, prioritizes sensationalism over substance, exaggeration over accuracy, and profit over principles. From the circulation wars of 19th century America to the viral clickbait of today's social media, yellow journalism continues to challenge the integrity of news and the health of our democracy. Let us explore its origin, its modern manifestation, and what we, as responsible media consumers, can do to navigate this landscape. The origin of yellow journalism emerged in the 1890s during a fierce circulation battle between two American newspaper giants, Joseph Pulitzer's New York World and William Randolph Hearst New York Journal. The term coined by New York Press editor Erwin Wardman was inspired by the popular Yellow Kid comic strip that both papers featured. These newspapers used bold headlines, vivid illustrations, and exaggerated stories to capture readers' attention and boost sales. Accuracy and fairness often took a back seat to profit. A striking example of this era's impact was the role yellow journalism played in pushing the United States toward the Spanish American War in 1898. Sensationalized reports of Spanish atrocities in Cuba, often embellished or outright fabricated, inflamed public opinion, and pressured the United States government to intervene. The sinking of the USS Maine, blamed on Spain with little evidence, became a rallying cry. Remember the man, to hell with Spain. This war led to US acquiring territories like Puerto Rico and Philippines, showcasing the media's power to shape not just opinions but geopolitics. In the modern age, yellow journalism is fast forward and yellow journalism is alive and well, thriving in new forms. The mantra, if it bleeds, it leads, still governs much of our media landscape. Television networks, online news portals, and social media platforms like X and Facebook amplify sensationalized headlines, often in bold, vivid fonts, to drive clicks and engagement. Stories are frequently under researched, prioritizing speed over accuracy. Social media, in particular, has become a breeding ground for modern yellow journalism. A single post on X can go viral within minutes, spreading unverified claims or half truths to millions before fact checking can catch up. Political scandals, celebrity gossips, or social injustices are often exaggerated to grow readership or push an agenda. The rise of artificial intelligence and digital manipulation has made this even more dangerous, enabling bad actors to alter videos or create deep fakes that masquerade as legitimate news. In India, yellow journalism has gained momentum over the last few decades. Cases like the live coverage of 208 Mumbai terror attack raised serious question about national security as real-time reporting inadvertently aided the attackers. The consequences of sensationalism are the shift from media as a public service to a profit driven industry. It has had profound consequences, particularly in India. After independence, the media transitioned from a mission driven institution, often led by freedom fighters and social reformers, to a commercial enterprise. Post liberalization in the 1990s, corporate houses with deep pockets acquired media outlets, prioritizing profit over editorial independence. This has led to several troubling trends. Number one, the culture of breaking news. Investigating journalism has been sidelined in favor of trivial, poorly researched stories. The slogan, bad news is good news and good news is no news, dominates, leaving critical issues. Number two, profit over principles. As veteran journalist P. Sainath aptly said, this media is politically free but imprisoned by profit. The focus on glamour, political drama, sports, finance, and fashion, and advertisement overshadows substantive issues. Paid news, where media outlets accept payment to promote specific narratives, undermines the very principles of journalistic independence. Number three, media trials and ethical lapses. Sensational reporting often disregards the privacy and dignity of individuals. In cases like Raj Gopal versus State of Tamil Nadu, the Supreme Court of India affirmed that citizens have a fundamental right to privacy. Yet, media outlets frequently violate this by publishing unverified allegations or conducting media trials. This not only damages reputations but also undermines the rule of law by promoting mob justice. Selective coverage of social issues is the number four. The media often fails to sustain campaigns against social ills, opting for selective, sensationalized coverage that grabs attention but lacks depth or follow through. Now the question arises, what should be the path forward? Becoming responsible media as a consumers, what can we do in the face of yellow journalism? The future of democracy depends on a healthy media, and that starts with us. Here are some practical steps. Question headlines. Do not take headlines at face value. Read the full story, cross check facts with multiple sources, and separate truth from exaggeration. Platforms like X can be a double edged sword. While they spread misinformation quickly, they also allow access to raw, unfiltered perspectives. Use them wisely. Support quality journalism. Seek out outlets and journalists committed to investigative reporting and ethical standards. Subscribe to or share content from credible sources to amplify their reach. Demand and accountability. Call out sensationalism when you see it. Engage with media outlets on social platforms like X to demand transparency and accuracy. Public pressure can drive change. Educate yourself on media literacy. Learn to recognize fake news, misinformation, and biased reporting. Fact checking websites and media literacy programs can equip us with the tools to navigate today's information overload. Advocate for ethical standard. As Mahatma Gandhi said, a free press should neither be an ally nor a free press should neither be an ally nor an adversary, but a constructive critic. Support initiatives that promote media ethics and hold outlets accountable for breaches of privacy or fairness. This is very important, which Mahatma said. A free press should neither be an ally nor an adversary, be a but a constructive critic. Now, in conclusion, I would say, friends, the media is often called the fourth pillar of democracy, but its strength lies not just in journalists, but upon us, the readers, viewers, and sharers of the news. Yellow journalism, whether in the form of 19th century headlines or 21st century clickbait, thrives when we consume without questioning. By demanding accuracy, supporting ethical journalism, and fostering media literacy, we can help restore the media's role as a beacon of truth and public service. Let us commit to being informed, discerning, and engaged citizens. Together, we can ensure that the media serves not just to entertain or profit, but to enlighten and empower. The health of our democracy depends on it. Thank you. In the last, I will request to kindly share, like this video, and subscribe this channel. Thank you very much.